Last time you heard about Fred, it was maybe in Amsterdam. Since then, Fred also went to Warsaw, to Dublin, but now he's back in Amsterdam and he's not alone. Do you know where this is? You would say Greenland, right? Because it's so green. But no, Fred actually got laid off from his former company, where we left off with his data security breach, you remember? With Peter in Germany, and he said, Gehaltsabrechnung, which I promised to never say again. I promise a lot. He is now actually in Barcelona. He managed to get a job in Barcelona. You know the prime reason to work in Barcelona? No, they have a lot of public holidays. They have a lot of public holidays. They work very hard in Barcelona. So he relocated with his family and he now works as a global payroll manager. And he used to report into HR, now he reports into finance. What a blessing. Oh, who reports into HR? Okay, good luck. And still you are successful. I think that's really amazing. But Fred feels a little bit old. So Fred is not that old, but he feels very old in his new job. And his new job, by the way, sorry, Paolo, Edwin, he also uses EOR businesses. He's now in a fast-paced tech company out of Barcelona, around 5,000 employees, 20 countries, in-house payrolls, outsourced payrolls, and EORs. He has a few visa issues, but maybe we'll let you know his contact details. And he works there, and he has a great job, and he now reports into finance. But one of his team members left before he joined, and he can't see the relation between those, but right after he posted on LinkedIn, he is joining this team, this person left. So, don't know what happened with Fred. So Fred needs to talk to HR, and this is Frida. You have Fred and Frida. So Frida is on the right, Fred is on the left, in case you're wondering who was who. So Frida is from HR, the HR manager. Frida is only 25 years old, young. She's the HR manager of this big new tech company in Barcelona. And he starts to talk to HR and he feels like, wow, this is something new. I used to work for this old German headquartered, they're very nice people, but it's an old German headquartered company, very slow processes. He started wondering, does HR work for me or do I work for HR? He actually reported into HR, so technically he worked for HR, but I think payroll knows in the data preparation up to submission process what we mean. Okay, so he talks with Frida, says, Frida, I have a problem. A team member left, I need to replace the team member. So Frida says, yeah, then you need to create a job description, and then we need to post something. So you go ahead and create a job description. So Fred does that because Fred is a very energetic guy. He goes straight in after the kids go to bed. He doesn't go to Netflix. He creates a job description. So he then shares a job description with Frida. But again, Frida is 25 years young, working in HR, and Fred, in his mid-40s, shares the job description with Frida. And Frida says, Fred, what have you done? Who do you even want to attract? And Fred says, I want to attract young people. Said Frida, no. You'll not attract any young people. You'll attract people close to retirement. And you'll even get the wrong people. But Fred says, why? Why? So Frida gets nasty, eh? You see? First he was happy with Frida, now Frida says, no, in a very energetic Spanish way that I can't see, but just imagine a very angry Spanish woman talking more with her hands than with her words. So she says, no. Fred says, well, what have I done wrong? And then Frida says, well, first of all, you've listed all of these experiences. Has anyone researched any job descriptions on LinkedIn? It even lists which payroll provider they use. Like, you have to work with ADP Streamline, you have to work with CloudPay. Nowadays, you have to work with Payzone. So it says, yes. Of course. Right? But then, okay, he lists all of this. And then he also lists, you need to have experience with XYZ countries. Remember, this is a tech company that grows really fast. So Frida says, but people can learn, right, Fred? That's true. And what if you now go into a new country tomorrow? Will you then fire this person and hire a new person who has experience with this country? He says, no, he's getting sad. No, I'll train the person. Okay, Fred. And Frida asks, like, and what type of person are you looking for? Yeah, kind of a young person, like a millennial. Frida says, a millennial? That's not a young person. Says, millennial? What the hell, Frida says. You mean Gen Z? So Fred says, no, Gen Z is still in school. He says, I'm a Gen Z. I'm 25 years old. You know, Gen Z is up to 28 years now that they're working in the workforce. They already are working for 8+ years, Gen Z. My kids are Gen Alpha or whatever you would mean. Gen I will never work. Well, to me, Fred now thinks this is not Gen Z, this is Gen Zykert. Jesus, I create a job description at night. The only thing is that she bashes me. And then Frida says, what about the salary? Fred said, I said it was competitive. Oh, competitive. What does competitive even mean? Well, that it's better than the other. How do you know everyone else's salary? I don't know. So Fred's unhappy. He says, and don't you know about this Pay Transparency Act that's now in the EU and that you need to disclose salary information in the job description? Fred says, I don't know. So Fred's unhappy. So she says, go work on your new job description, right? Include all of this. So Fred does it. And okay, Frida is a little bit happier. Of course, on her phone. I also say Gen Z, Gen Zero concentration. But okay, sorry, Angelique. I'm so sorry. Zero. Every 10 seconds, oh, there's a notification. Like, fuck. Yeah. We used to run the whole world without a notification. I'm also a millennial, by the way, in case you're wondering. Really? Yeah. Okay, that's for the networking. Okay, but now Fred says, so I'm going to post a job on LinkedIn. But Frida says, LinkedIn? Everyone's linked out. Gen Z also does something on TikTok. Does anyone work at TikTok? I think someone applied TikTok. Okay, I don't know what it is. You worked in TikTok. Okay, great company, right? Great company. Good. And then Instagram. Anyone has Instagram? I need to talk to you. I don't know why. Like, oh. Okay, anyway, so we need to post something on Instagram. So Frida has an idea. Frida says, you need to create a video with marketing to post on Instagram and TikTok. Fred, a millennial, needs to create a video for a payroll posting for TikTok and Instagram. So fortunately, we brought someone for marketing, Angelique. So I now need to create this as live. So I'm Fred. Crunch the numbers. Make it right. Paydays here.
Right. Great. Come on. Energy. Again. Come on. Again.
Crunch the numbers. Make it right. Paydays here.
You look like you're trying to go to the toilet.
I actually do need to pee, but okay.
Natural.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
Like you talk with me. Just be yourself. That's what they want. Authenticity.
Holy shit, Gen Z, Gen Zykert. Okay. Crunch the numbers, make it right. Paydays here, bring pure delight. Tech and trends, a future bright. Join payroll, your skills take flight. Do you want a TikTok payroll with me? Apply now and join the team. Yes! Okay. Frida is now happy. The applications are flying in. Yes! Fred is super energetic again, but he says, what do I have to bring this Gen Z? I don't know anything. I need inspiration. Where do you go for inspiration? No. A Payzar event in Amsterdam. On your bicycle. So, he goes to this event. Oh. Huh? Okay, enough. So, again, Fred, Freddie Mercury, Queen, Snip, Snap, TikTok. Okay, you got it. So, now you have all this, you have this on your leg, and I told you not to look at it. Now you can look at it. And you can even bring it with you. This is the industry report, and I got an applause for Mark for working on it, but actually the marketing team did most of the work. I just shared my view. So a big applause for the marketing team for creating this. Also for Mika and Juliana, who are back home. This is yours. And I'm going to just run you through, because I know there are drinks, beer, wine, cocktail, vodka martini. What does Gen Z drink these days? I don't know. Milk, okay. Carne milk or? No. Okay. I drink carne milk. Okay, so we're talking about trends. This is a talent dilemma. This was research done with hundreds of polls and people. Don't ask me statistics. So we asked hiring managers if it's difficult to find all of you. And it seems to be that it's very difficult. 87% either can't find you or can't find you in the right location. So it's super difficult to find you. So it's great that you're here. You are wanted. You are desired. Geen blauwtjes meer. It's super cool. But then again, what do people ask? And it's actually career and retention progression. So Fred is going to take this back to Frida, because Frida didn't say anything about what actually excites people. So it's also career progression, because often if you go into payroll, you become a payroll manager, and then what? You become a VP of global payroll? Well, that doesn't exist in every company. So you enter a position, and it's almost your loss if you enter on a manager level or a senior director level. So career progression is super important, if only small steps, because otherwise people switch nowadays. My mother used to call me a job hopper. Do you remember the term job hopper? Like if I would not stay 10 years or more at the same company, she would say, you're a job hopper. I said, no, I'm just easily bored. That's different. Anyway, I can talk about my mother during networking. Okay, so we also talked about strategy, shared services. Who works in a shared service environment? You. Really? And do you like it? Yeah, your corporate, it's on video, eh? So just, do you like yeah? It's amazing, right, at CSC. Best decision ever. Exactly. It's tough, shared services, but it is really doable. So a lot of people are working in shared services, but you used to relate shared services with a location, right? Poland, Hungary, India. Nowadays, shared services are location independent. It's that you deliver a shared service, not just from one location. So when you think about the mission vision that Pierre so delicately shared with all of us, think about shared services. It doesn't have to be in a certain location. You can be a shared service to the business. Maybe like Cynthia and Anna are doing. They are a shared service for EMEA because they deliver the finance and the other teams with actual data that they want and they need. They deliver a shared service for EMEA because they're not in every country. You deliver a shared service. So it's a location independent. Yeah, this makes Fred really happy, because Fred has in-house payrolls, outsourced payrolls, and EOR. And we've asked people, what do you want if you would go to a different provider? Of course, everyone says, I want one global provider. We actually asked you, the payroll managers, not just the VP people who don't really know how it works in global payroll, who say, yeah, I just want one contract, get this payroll thing done. You guys know you want the best provider in each country. Regardless of their name, their brand, their contract, you just want the best provider. That's what you want. That's why, and Mark always doesn't like me saying this, because is it an oxymoron, Mark? But I always say hybrid is the one size fits all, which is an oxymoron. Mark, here I said it again. You're welcome. Sorry. Mark went to Stanford. He's way smarter than I am. So I just have praktijkdiploma loonadministratie. So, but really happy. And this also supports the PaySAR vision, that you will always have a multifaceted provider landscape, whether you use one of the providers here who are excellent, but can you serve everything? No, BDO can't give in-house payroll, but you're very good in outsourced payroll. Do you do EOR? No, you don't. So for Fred, they might choose BDO here and EOR there and an in-house there, which ends up with 3 different providers, and it's very difficult to standardize. So then you would still need a platform to look at that. Who has children? Great. Would you give your kids to a random person on the street to say, you watch my baby? Would you do the same thing for your payroll? No? Okay. Why do you then choose global providers without knowing who the local payroll specialist is?
Mostly chosen for you by the US company.
Exactly. So that's the analogy to use whenever you have that conversation with an executive. Do you have children? Yes. Would you give your children to a random person on the street? No. Well, payroll is my baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy business case, 3 minutes. Excellent. Now, when you choose the right provider, what is important? I always said service is, although we work at a tech company, service is the most important thing. When the SHIT hits the fan, you want to call Theo and say, Theo, can you help me? Theo says yes. Even if it's 8 p.m. because you have a problem. That's service. A service is thinking on the client and not just a rubbish in, non-compliance out. That you actually look at the data like CSC does. I'll need to name everyone now. Grant Thornton does, like Bridge does. More providers? No, okay, I've named them all. Super excellent providers. But you also need tech. So the best combination is service and tech. That's what you're looking for. Country profits? Yeah, sure. Cost? Cost is actually not that important anymore. Sure, they will ask, for the providers in them, they will ask about fees. But long-term relationships, because you don't want to switch payroll providers every year, because it's difficult to switch payroll providers. So this is more important than, of course, cost. But for you guys, this is super important, nailing this combination. It's also learning for the providers here. Yeah, Paolo, you went all the way to Amsterdam to learn all of this, which could have been a call, you think, or an email, but okay, I know. Could have been an email. Okay, well, we heard Cynthia talk about inputs. The time spent on inputs. I remember this when Marissa and I worked at this company, a tech company. I once counted the number of input sources. I had 11 input sources, each payroll, each pay run, and we had Workday. Brilliant trial. By the way, Workday is brilliant. Everybody invests in Workday and they still have 10 additional sources. Holy shit. So it's really difficult. But then we asked, on average, how much time does your team spend on preparing payroll inputs per payroll run? 69% spends 4 hours or more. So Fred's team, with 20 countries, let's just assume it's a monthly payroll, 20 times 4, it's 80. 80 hours between cutoff and submission. You have your payroll calendars, right? Like cutoff submission. You don't have a lot of time between cutoff and submission. So if you can reduce time spent here, it's a huge efficiency gain. That's HR Connect. Then the payroll calendar. This is both for the providers and for the people in the room. SLAs. I think everyone benefits from a good processing SLA that everything is clear. When do you submit? When do you get your results? So you don't have to wait. Like I always call it the long wait of payroll. You've submitted payroll, you're like refreshing your inbox or you're refreshing your tool. Are the results there? Are the results there? Are they there? Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. So get good SLAs. And then we ask them, so what do you actually have as processing days? So from submission until you get the first draft, that with Theo's vision is exactly 100% correct. Well, most of it say it's 3 to 4 business days, which I think is kind of the norm. If I look into the room, yeah, the ones with 1 and 2, that's exceptional, I think. 4+ days is really a long time. That probably means that either on the client side, you just give bad data to the providers that they need to manually manipulate, or it's incorrect. You need to clarify a lot, so there's something to do on the client side. But also for the providers, if you get clean data, why does it take 4 days to process results? So that triggers a conversation. And I would always include a rerun SLA. It's rarely not included in an SLA, but what if your customer rejects? Between rejection and a new rerun, do you also have an SLA for that? Because the pay date is coming up. So I think it will benefit both of you to also look at a rerun SLA. Okay, I know, beer. Everybody wants a beer and wine. Okay, I have 3 more slides, I think, or 16. No. Okay, so also the scope of payroll. We think payroll is producing a payslip. It's much more. And we have great, and I mean this, great providers in the room who do much more than payroll. And especially in countries where you don't have a local payroll or HR press, you just need more. So we said, what's the most annoying hidden cost of outsourcing? It's actually HR and legal advice. I have a severance. What do I need to do in Italy? I have 1 employee. TFR payments. What do I need to do? Norway. What was it? Or Finland. What was it with the summer vacation bonus and the winter Belgium, C4, enkelvakantiegeld dubbel. You need some help, right? This is brings back a lot of nightmares. So there's a lot of lining up. Okay, controls. How to excel at reviews. I'm really proud I made up this title. I'm just take a moment to be how to excel at reviews. We talked a lot about Excel, but again, we spent 4 or more hours on data preparation. But then when the results come in, look at this: 26% has 4 to 6 hours. 37% 2 to 4 hours. So the results come in. What do you do to check it? Input versus output. What do you say, Cynthia? XLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, match functions. What if it's automatic? Do you still look at the payslips? I love looking at payslips. Like for me, it's Netflix payslip every day. Give me a payslip, a random payslip. It's beautiful. Decipher it. Especially the old SAP payslip, the ugly payslips. Get de witte loonbelastingtabel erbij. Lekker man. Anyway, nice glass of wine. Let's look at a payslip. My wife disagrees. Okay, so the auditors. Cynthia talked about auditors as well. Well, we said, what if they come in today and they audit the previously closed cycle? So the last cycle is January. What if you process January and they come in now, today, to audit your books? Are you audit ready? This is off script. Are you audit ready? You're liars. You're not audit ready. Or you are just the best payroll professionals in the whole world. That could also be true. Let's just settle on you're the best payroll professionals in the whole world. But for those who aren't, they are really scared if you would come. I need upfront notice of, I hope they don't come. Is whether it's internal audit, external audit. What if they say, how did you approve payroll? Well, I pushed the button. Oh, how? Okay, you get the real. Okay, it's done. So it's time for networking.